Hello and welcome to day 46 of my 365-day iPhone video challenge. It is Sunday. That means it is the Sunday omnibus. It is 7:40. I really don't want to be here. What I really want to be doing is watching Doctor Who with the new female Dr. Jodie Whittaker. But no, I'm getting this done and then I'm going to catch up on iPlayer. So here we go. We covered an awful lot this week. We started to talk about. We started the week talking about your brain, how your brain works, and I showed you my hand model of the brain, and we talked about the left and right cortex and how our thinking patterns can go from worry in the left to anxiety in the right. And if you look at CBT and the ABC model, which is activating trigger, beliefs and thinking, and then see consequences, i.e. what your behaviors and what you do, that it is the beliefs and thoughts in the middle that affect the consequences. So certain things will happen to some people, like an activating trigger where they'll be late for work, or someone says something nasty to them, or something goes awry, and the consequences for some people will be, it's okay, I can get over it and be fine. And for other people, it can make them angry, make them sad, make them upset, make them anxious. And why is it that the same activating trigger can have different consequences for different people? Well, it's the beliefs and thoughts in the middle. And so we started to talk about the different types of beliefs and thoughts that people have, and the two disturbances that people have: disturbances of the ego and disturbances of comfort. And disturbance of the ego is that we want to be seen as perfect, and we don't want to be laughed at or seen as a failure. So we avoid doing things that could affect our model of the world and that we're perfect and great. And disturbances of comfort is that we want to be comfortable in our lives. We don't like, that's why some people dislike change, because it's uncomfortable, and therefore we try and maintain a level of psychological comfort, so we don't do certain things because it will make us psychologically feel uncomfortable, which then leads us on to cognitive distortions. And I covered, a number of cognitive distortions in the last week, about 12 of them. And cognitive distortions are thinking patterns. And none of them are bad per se, but like all thinking patterns, some of them can be slightly faulty. And more importantly, you can get into a type of habit of always thinking a certain way. Just like you can build other habits, of whatever it is your habit is, you can build a habit in how you think. And these cognitive distortions, these automatic negative thoughts, as they're often called, are faulty thinking patterns that can become faulty thinking habits. So we covered 12 of them. I'm just going to go through them very quickly with a little description, and then we can all go home. So the first cognitive distortion was all or nothing, black or white thinking. It's also known as dichotomous reasoning, where it must be this way or no way. I must go to the gym every day, or for 2 hours at a time, or I'm a failure and I'm giving up. So that was the first one. Overgeneralizing is when we use words like every time, everything, everyone, always, everything always goes wrong for me. Everyone is against me. It's massively overgeneralizing. Not everyone is against you. Not everything always goes wrong. It's just where you start to overgeneralize what your experiences, and actually that's not true. The next one is magnification and minimization. And magnification is also known as catastrophization, which is where something small goes wrong, like you're late, and you blow it out of all proportion. We're late, it's all going to be horrible, I'm going to die, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. And then minimization is the same, where someone says you're good at something and you minimize that thing. Oh, it's not important, or something good happened to you today, but you minimize its importance because you don't want to, you just rather than blow it out of proportion, you just. Ugh. Then the next three are blaming, personalization, and labeling yourself. Now, blaming is very simple. You blame others for how you feel. So you blame someone for, you make me angry. If you hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have got upset. You caused me to feel this way. And as we know, with activating trigger, beliefs and thoughts and consequences. And no, your beliefs and thoughts affect your emotions and your consequences. You can't blame someone for that. Personalizing is when you blame yourself for other things that are out of your control. You blame yourself that Dave didn't speak to me today. I must have made him angry. You blame yourself for. You personalize it to you. That's not the case. Then there's labeling, and labeling is where you simply label yourself an idiot or stupid, which is ridiculous. No one's an idiot or stupid all the time, and you label other people maybe being an idiot and stupid when they're not idiots or stupid all the time. Then we have guilty thinking. Guilty thinking is the one that most of us will be aware of. I should do this, I must do this, I ought to have done that. It's trying to motivate yourself using should, must, and ought, and actually it can have the opposite effect and leave you unmotivated. Then you've got fortune telling, where you think, no, I'm not going to do that because things always turn out bad for me. So it's generalization as well. That will not happen. It won't go well. Why would I? I'll go out for dinner and it'll be horrible and it'll feel awkward, so I'm not going to go. And then you have mind reading, where you are you read the mind of others, even though you can't do that. I can tell by the way he said that he thought I had no chance of getting that job, or I can tell by the way they looked at me, they hated me. You don't know that. Then there's emotional thinking, where you confuse your just because you feel a certain way, you assume that's the reality. So with emotional thinking, I'm not in the mood to do something challenging, to go out, walk the dog, go to the gym, so you don't do it. Or I feel like a failure, therefore I am a failure. That's not true. You're just confusing your emotion. What are the thoughts behind the emotion? You've then got mental filter, which is selective abstraction, which is where you look at the world through a negative lens, and everything that happens, you see it through a negative lens. It's raining today. Of course it's raining. It's always raining. My life is a dark cloud of storms. It's never nice on my birthday. You got a pay rise and it was not as much as you hoped, and rather than being happy about the pay rise you did get, you focus on the fact that you didn't get as much as you hoped. And then there's finally disqualifying the positive, which the simplest way to think about is someone compliments you for doing something good, a good job or whatever, and you go, I don't believe them. They don't really mean it. Or someone says you've got a particular strength, and you go, oh yeah, well I am good with people, but that's really what I need to be. I need to be more commanding. So you worry, you disqualify your positive attributes. So that's all of them. Over the next week, we're going to cover a whole lot of new things and how we deal with some of these automatic negative thoughts. And I will see you tomorrow. Right, I'm off to watch Doctor Who. Bye-bye.